we were doing the entrepreneur lifestyle, but we had all of the same things of our old lifestyle of working for someone else. So you still have this big house, you have all these cars, you have all of these services, like you have all of the stuff that you afford when you're not an entrepreneur making a whole lot of money. So we slowly got rid of those things that we didn't need to budget in this type of lifestyle, but we were still holding on to elements that were not fitting what we were trying to do.
Welcome to the Go Hunt Life Show, hosted by Todd Nevins.
This is Todd Nevins, and I interview people that had seemingly normal lives and careers going, but they pulled the ripcord and blew up their comfort bubbles to hunt down their life that they had always dreamed of living. Today, I speak with Kristie and Elijah Whites. They ditched their 9-to-5s 3 years ago and have never looked back. Kristie was a senior accounts manager at a marketing agency, and Elijah was a sales manager for a moving company. Kristie loved marketing. Elijah loved photography and videography. The rest, as they say, is history, but with a twist at the end. They both quit their jobs in 2014 to combine their passions to form their marketing agency, Serving Social. And now the twist. After growing the company, they have decided to take their business on the road, literally in an RV. They are working and living in their mobile command center, and they are traveling through America helping small towns with their own marketing strategies. These are the towns with the main squares and buildings without any businesses open, and they are struggling. So Kristie and Elijah are providing their expertise in marketing to help these towns rebrand, rebuild, and thrive. And along the way, they have found their happiness. My conversation with Kristie and Elijah Whites starts right after a quick word from our rockin' sponsor. This episode is sponsored by PrintDirtCheap.com. Jeff Chrisman, the founder of Print Dirt Cheap, started his business the way most companies begin, with grit, determination, and a vision. And now, over the past decade, he has built his company into the go-to online printing powerhouse. If I've handed you a business card in the last 4 years, it was printed by Print Dirt Cheap. And the decals all over my laptop, yep, they did those too. They print and ship over 30 categories of printing products, from business cards and decals to banners, company letterhead, restaurant menus, and a ton of direct mail pieces. And they have just rolled out an entirely new website, ensuring that your online user experience to place an order is simple and fast. And when you place that order, use promo code GOHUNTLIFE for $10 off. And Jeff has just launched Success Hackers, which is a global group of tenacious entrepreneurs that share the latest tips, tools, and hacks into growing a business. Check it out at facebook.com/Success Hackers. And again, promo code GOHUNTLIFE for $10 off of your next print job at printdirtcheap.com. Kristie and Elijah Whites, welcome. Thank you for jumping on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
You guys are married, but do you have kids, and how old are you?
Well, he just goes straight for it.
No, we do not have kids. I am 29.
Okay.
Kristie here is...
31.
Okay.
I was going to let her answer.
What is your profession and primary ways that you make a living?
I am, put simply, a marketer is my profession, but hierarchy is I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say marketers... I would say actually right now my primary profession has been photography.
Okay.
And marketing, of course, I support Kristie with Serving Social and everything else. So, but yeah, that's really my main focus in the company.
The photography is for the Serving Social clients, correct?
Yeah, social postings, all that kind of stuff. But it's like, I don't know, it's like a different mindset. You know, you're creating those assets.
He's a creative.
Yeah.
All right.
Kristie's the strategy.
Okay, we are going to dive in. But you weren't always the president, CEO, COO, everything of Serving Social. You guys once were just normal employees.
Yeah.
Back at... The excitement went down. Back in 2013.
Aw, you reminded us.
Where were you guys working, and what were you doing back in 2013?
So in 2013, I was working as the sales manager for Square Cow Movers here in Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
all right.
That was I was been in the moving industry by that time for 6 years. Yeah, I was going on my 7th at that point in time.
Okay.
So yeah, that was those were interesting times.
You don't miss all of that, do you?
Nope, don't miss all of that at all.
I was working at Local Search Media, which is an SEO and digital marketing startup.
So you were in the industry that you're in now. What were you doing for them?
Basically everything I'm doing now.
All right.
Well, I was an account manager, so handle clients, bring in new clients, onboard them, strategy, social media development, content writing, you name it, we were doing it. Also technical SEO in terms of optimization and search engine marketing and all of those fun things that make my brain go, yay.
Were you managing a team?
We developed into a team, yeah. So when I first joined with them, it was 2 guys and me. Okay. And then we expanded and doubled over the team before I left. So,
what'd you like about it?
Well, I enjoyed getting to meet different types of businesses, different people. So that was something where I always appreciated different creative personalities. I loved getting the exposure to the behind the scenes of a business.
All right.
Dissecting that element of it. And I appreciated the creative elements.
Mm-hmm. So you're working with clients. Mm-hmm. Elijah, you're on the business side, so you see it from the other side. Mm-hmm. You're within a company. What did you like about your role?
The one thing that I liked about my role is people.
Okay.
You go the interesting thing about moving is that you go to a new location every day. Whether you're a mover that's in a truck, you're driving with a crew, you're always in somebody else's house, you're always in somebody else's office. You're just seeing the city. At that same time, since I was a sales manager, I went around, I did estimates for people who were looking to move, talked to them about their move, anything and everything before the move actually happened. So my favorite part was really just talking to people, going places, networking, everything. That was probably the highlight, honestly.
Commercial and residential, were they only moves within the Austin area?
No, we would do nationwide moves. I mean, orchestrating somebody having to go to 2 different locations, pick up in New Mexico, grab this here, and then all that goes up to California and is dropped off, and then we got to crate stuff and send it. I mean, there was a lot of logistics that went around it, but, that's all just a strategy, I guess those were kind of little small fun aspects, but the majority of the stuff we did was all local, for residential or commercial. So, yeah.
Is it headquartered here?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a national company.
So Square Cow, actually, no, they're headquartered here, but when it comes down to moving, even local companies, you're basically just going to either hire out movers in another area and you're going to pack it all here and ship it there and have another moving company unload it. Or, we did it plenty of times where you just pack everything in a truck and you drive across country, you unload it, and then you turn around and you drive cross country all the way back. Empty. So, I mean, other times you'd go there, you'd rent a truck, drive it up, return it, and just fly home. Those were the best times, right?
Yeah.
After a long move, you get a couple drinks at the airport, a nice fly home. It was all perfect. It was
great picking him up from the airport.
Yeah, but even then, those were the luxury highlights of the job. The rest of it was nowhere close to as glamorous, it was just a lot of sweat, basically.
When did the thought start coming in of okay, we're going to jump out of this and we're going to start our own firm? When did that start?
Actually, the start your own firm thing wasn't a concept when all of this was happening.
Mm-hmm.
I was just unhappy in where I was.
Why?
And that was hard to pinpoint. Every 6 months I'd go through this lull of depression where it's I felt like I wasn't where I was supposed to be and I wasn't doing where I was supposed to be doing, or I felt like I wanted to do more and I couldn't. And I kept realizing it was because I was restricted. Every company has their own structure and their processes and they want to do what they want to do. I always wanted to do more. I wanted to take on clients that maybe they wouldn't. So the decision to leave wasn't necessarily to create a company, although that's the direction we ended up going. We were just trying to find my happiness. And in our marriage, we had decided to give each other turns. So he took a turn a couple years prior to me taking my turn. So he wanted to launch his own company.
In 2008, I worked on launching a magazine, which was Mojo City.
Okay.
It was called Mojo City Magazine. The company was Mojo Advertising, but I struggled all through college for finances, so I had this idea that I was going to create this magazine that generated scholarships through the ad dollar that it got through, advertisers. And then basically from there, college students would then compete inside this magazine and, for basically getting scholarships to go to school, creative design, writing papers and all that. But it was basically just a way to, connect advertisers to college students and college students to more avenues of being able to generate scholarships for themselves on a regular basis.
That sounds awesome.
But it was 2008. Like, nothing was happening then.
Right before the downturn.
I went networking, and people would be like, "Hey, Elijah, what are you up to?" Well, I'm launching this magazine. They literally laughed. Like, "Ooh, bad time. Wrong time to be doing that." And I'm like, "But why?" I didn't understand it because it's something new. It's exciting. Like, I'm getting all these, designs together. And I'm like, I got my whole first concept. I'm like writing every day. I'm getting all these people lined up. And yeah, I just couldn't get it off the ground. Nobody wanted to touch it. It's an unsure market. Everything's going to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting. I learned a lot. I mean, that was literally probably one of the biggest growing periods for me as an entrepreneur, thinking like, wow, all these different things. I wasn't able to do this, but now I understand why and why this all happened. I mean, I was able to start putting that together, but that was my shot. Like that's what we agreed upon. Okay. It just didn't work, so it was time to go back into the workforce and make things happen.
Figure out.
Yeah.
Like, I decided, I've done this for a number of years. It's good. I mean, it made more than enough money for our family. We had our savings. We had everything we wanted, but still unhappy. So
on paper.
Yeah.
In a spreadsheet,
yeah.
You guys look great.
Everything looked
Absolutely.
great. It was going great, but I was unhappy. And there's things that I liked about it that would keep me going to it, but in the root of it, I was ready to do something that really I wanted to do. And so that was when he said, "Okay, well, you take your turn. What are you going to do?" And I said, "Well, I'll just be a contractor at first," because I had been doing personal side things for friends, and we took on, he's still a client actually, we took on our wedding caterer. He's just a small Branch Barbecue, just a small little restaurant, right? He doesn't have any of that stuff, so I was just doing that on the side, and they knew, and they didn't seem to care about it. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just do that for a little bit. We talked about having a baby, maybe that would make you happy. No. Oh. No, we didn't do that. Yep. So I kind of just discovered, I started networking, I started talking to people, and then, we fell into this, drinking wine one night. It's like, let's actually make it a company. You keep getting more of these little contract things, they keep coming through. It seems like you really need to make that transition. I was like, you're right.
From that moment to when you quit your real job, what transpired and how long of a period of time was that?
I'm sorry, what?
Probably about a month.
Oh my gosh.
No, not a month.
Do you think so?
It was 2 months.
That's still nothing.
Yeah. I mean...
I'm decisive. So I go through, my type of brain, I go through everything, the scenarios. Okay, I can do this, this, and this. Will that work? Logistically, this, and this. That's how I think about it. And so I went down the path that I was like, okay, this could actually work. It will be work, but it will be my work.
And so you quit the day that you quit your job. Walk me through that leading up to you quitting your job, because then Elijah, you came on board later on that same year within Serving Social, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you quit your job first. Walk me through that.
I called a meeting, because I'd been with them for years at a different company prior to the company we all were working together. So I just called a meeting and I said, listen, I'm unhappy. I want to leave. Here's my 2 weeks. I'll help you transition whatever you need to do. I'll get all the clients ready to go. I'll tell them all, I'll prep whatever you need to bring in whoever you need. But I'm just unhappy.
What did you have to do? You had to create an LLC, Serving Social LLC.
Which I didn't do for 9 months.
You were just a solo proprietor.
I was just being a contractor. I had a name picked out. I was doing technically DBA as Serving Social.
All right.
And then finally, as I started doing more and more business and realizing this is actually a legit thing, I LLC'd it in April of 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you walked out of your real job, did you have revenue coming in day one?
No. No.
What types of services were you going to offer, and problems you were going to solve for your clients? What were those?
Everything we actually still do now, which is the full service marketing. Now, I had a focus on social media, and that's where I started. And then as I started networking and realizing, social media is only one element of the marketing, really you do need all of these other partners, I started finding other companies I could partner with, and we could work on a project together. And I've kept that model and I've expanded it and refined it, but it's very much the same thing. Like websites, consultations, branding, graphics, all of it goes into marketing.
What's the typical type of company, nonprofit, government agency? What's the typical type of clients that you have that fit?
Typical? We don't have typical clients.
But like Pepsi, Kellogg's, like some major corporation, or are you moving company? Would that be a logical client?
Actually, a little bit of everything. We've had clients brick and mortar, the pest control companies. We have clients that are restaurants. Through photography, we've done stuff for Harley Davidson. Like we've had big campaigns, and we've had smaller like people that are just trying to get started that want mentorship. Like, how do I structure this? Just tell me what to do, and I'll do it. And so we have that full spectrum. We help a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And everyone.
I'm going to foreshadow a little bit because we're also getting to the point of you guys have chosen to now run your company from an RV.
Yeah.
Okay, so walk me through
the mobile command center.
The mobile command center. I like it. All right, so from you starting the company, Elijah, what was the tipping point to allow you to say, okay, I can also quit my job and we can make enough money to live on this new company that we've just founded?
So that was, so it was planned out, right? It was, hey, so we're going to bring in X amount of clients, and then, once we start generating this much revenue, then it only makes sense that you move from this position to the next, right? So
our goal was 6 months.
Yeah. 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months. Having a plan is always good. Sometimes that doesn't always work out. I think a lot of entrepreneurs find themselves just kind of being cast out there and realizing, oh my God, I have to do this, right? So working with Square Cow, they were going to dissolve my position, so I had an opportunity, or I was presented with the opportunity to take a severance and, go do something else.
Perfect.
Yeah, or I could go back into the moving industry, right? Like actually driving a truck and moving furniture.
Kind of an easy decision.
Yeah, so, but on the flip side of that, before it came up to this, probably about 2 or 3 months before, I started shooting Google Street Views for the Google Street View program.
What do you mean? Driving the car?
No, like actually taking a DSLR camera into a business and doing a virtual tour, connecting to Google Street View like maps, and then walking inside the business and doing a virtual tour.
That's awesome.
So through networking, I had met a guy who got introduced to the program, and he was doing it, and we gelled instantly. I started talking about ways we could market with it because I just love stuff like that. And I was like, he's like, I'm looking for photographers, and I'm sitting here thinking of my husband's like love and all these things. I was like, you know what? Actually, you need to talk to my husband, Elijah. And so they kind of fell in love with each other over photography, and they just started going, and it was
so it was like
this opportunity.
Yeah, so started working on that, but even then that's challenging, right? It's because it's a sales position basically, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to sell this product, and even though it's Google and it does all these things and businesses can do all these things with it, it's also new, and there's education that has to go along with it, and
How are you finding the clients to do that? Walking indoors,
just talking about it. The one thing that you'll find with any product that I've ever sold is that as soon as I wanted to do it, is if you start talking about it and you talk about it enough, people are going to start believing you. And they're going to start being like, maybe I should wonder, like, maybe I should ask more questions about what this is, right? So
maybe I need this.
Yeah, exactly. So I just started talking about it, asking people, hey, have you thought about this? Or, do you know somebody who'd be interested? Especially like talking to buddies when you're relaxed and you're not trying to sell them something. You're just excited about the technology and all the possibilities. And then, your excitement and your influence gets them to think like, well, yeah, let me refer you to my buddy who owns a business, and and it just kind of kept on spiraling from there, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So, basically with that opportunity, it was kind of like, okay, we're not financially ready for me to quit my job and go full-time in the company, but I am working on this product. I have opportunity, and I have been trying to find more time to try to generate more sales. So again, like any entrepreneur, now I'm out there, and I realize it's time to make money, and I have to make money, so let's do it. Like, we have no choice. Let's go full into this company. And
so we both got certified within the program for Google Street View, and we started selling it in the company.
There's a certification.
There was. Yeah.
There was. Now there's not.
You used to have to take like this big long test. You only had one chance to take it before it timed out. You couldn't take it again for 3 days. Like it was a big thing.
It is the beast that is Google.
It is Google. You had to have
the AdWords certification. Like I'm an AdWords guy.
So
I know what you mean,
so
but
you
I didn't know
understand.
that thing.
Oh yeah,
existed.
you had to buy specific equipment. Like they had all equipment lists to be in it. It's like.
So how many people were doing this in Austin when you guys became certified? Yeah, the two of you.
Yeah, well,
he was the only certified photographer.
All right.
I was certified sales, which means I could talk about the product, use the product.
I want to say, in all fairness, there was total, I think, 4 photographers in Austin, independent photographers, because this was a program that anybody could take advantage of, right? As long as you had the know-how and you were willing to buy the equipment, you could go through Google's training and their certifications to be able to now represent yourself with Google's branding and say, hey, I'm a trusted photographer with Google and this is what we do and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Originally, I mean, it was brutal. People were turning in each other left and right. The industry was crazy. Now, Google's just kind of like, cameras are everywhere, like contribute away, 360, whatever.
Yeah.
360's caught on, and we were doing it before. A lot of people were doing it, so it's like, if you want to talk to this guy about 360 photos, he knows it all.
Yeah, but anyway, but that was an opportunity to jump into that after Square Cow.
Support for this podcast and the following message comes from Click Placement, a digital agency designing Google AdWords and pay-per-click marketing strategies for startups, small businesses, and even people building a side hustle. Hit up clickplacement.com to start a conversation. If you would like to personally support the Go Hunt Life podcast, go to patreon.com/Go Hunt Life to make a donation.
Walk me up to the point of you guys dropped a blog post in January 2017. We've sold everything to live and work out of an RV. What transpired with the company in regards to like clients, services, employees, partners? Like what was the evolution of the company to then get you guys to the point of like, and now we feel comfortable pulling the ripcord again and going mobile? How do you get there?
So we knew that we were, how to explain this? We were doing the entrepreneur lifestyle, but we had all of the same things of our old lifestyle of working for someone else. So you still have this big house, you have all these cars, you have all of these services, like you have all of the stuff that you afford when you're not an entrepreneur making a whole lot of money. So we slowly got rid of those things that we didn't need to budget in this type of lifestyle, but we were still holding on to elements that were not fitting what we were trying to do.
House, cars, tools,
all of those things, like
yard.
the house being one of them. So you work as an entrepreneur, you'll work 80 to 100 hours a week, like all the time. When you're not working there, you're working on your house. And we got lucky at the end of the market. It was exhausting. We bought a pretty nice house at the downturn of the market, and so we had 6 bedrooms that would sit empty most of the time.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, I mean,
for 2 people.
Yeah, well, my mom actually moved in with us, so we had my mother with us too. So that was,
which is another element.
It's a very big element.
Someone else very big, depending upon you, not a child, but another adult.
Yeah. And we had the house for 5 years before we sold it. So when we started looking at everything, we're looking at what we're trying to do in business. We had the talk with my mom, and we said, we want to sell the house, we want to downsize. We don't know what we want to do yet, but for where we're going with our business, we want to put everything into it. This no longer meets our lifestyle. She understood. I think she was like, it took a little bit because it's change. It's hard to get her on board, but when the house was the first thing we really started with, and that was everything. That had so much stuff. It had all of our life, all of her life, like everything into this 5 years into this house.
7 years of free furniture off people's moves.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you, I had stuff stuck everywhere, and you don't realize it.
How'd you get rid of all of it? I've been there. We've gone through that. How did you guys get rid of all of your stuff?
So we started off like garage sale.
Yeah.
But Kristie, we realized, like, as we had a yard sale with everything displayed, more stuff was selling on Kristie posting on Facebook and selling to those groups, so and people looking for more. Right?
I'd have a yard sale, and then I'd get on Facebook Marketplace, and I would take pictures of everything, and they would come to the yard sale and pick them up.
This was in what year? This was 2013?
This was 2016, prepping for the official
17.
move. Yeah.
All right.
So That's
you
how we
sold all the
started doing
stuff first, then sold the house?
We started, the house was big. We needed to prep the house to be sold. And there's stuff, that we had to do double the time, like getting the house prepped to ready to be on the market. And then actually our best friends, they were about to have a baby. They said they wanted to buy it. So it never actually went on the market. We self-sold it with our own, everything ourselves. So that's some more paperwork, right? But I know our best friends have filled that house with their kids and things like that. Mm-hmm. So it was worth it.
What was the hardest thing that you had to get rid of? Let's remove the house, tangible thing that you were tied to. Nothing.
Actual thing? Nothing.
Yeah, I was going to say nothing.
Room, my closet.
What about all your wedding gifts?
There was one, so as far as wedding gifts goes, I wouldn't say there was anything that was too, oh my God, I can't believe you'd get us such a nice thing, except for my great aunt got us this little dish.
This dish.
I mean, it's one of those things where you look at it and you're like,
it's a decorative plate.
You're like, this is awesome. I don't know why I need it, but I guess this is cool. But that's the only thing out of that we've kept.
It's like a $500 little dish.
Yeah, and that stays on. That's say Kristie.
I put my jewelry in it and my glasses.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
right.
but that's it.
Better than a big hutch that you have to keep.
No. Oh yeah,
that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
I'm not attached to any one particular object. I miss my closet. I had a full walk-in closet, a 10 by 15 room that was my closet.
But do you have the same amount of clothes that you had back then?
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Elijah says that very quickly. No, I had over 100 pairs of shoes. I did costuming in college, so I had costumes, I had makeup, I had wigs, I had over 100 vintage hats, I had a rather robust closet. I miss it so much.
So you do miss that.
I miss that.
You replaced that with, what did you buy in 2017 to live in and work out of and travel in?
My RV.
Yep, 34-foot RV.
Mm-hmm. It's a 34-foot luxury lacrosse light. It's a travel trailer, which everybody seems to think, oh, you bought an RV, and they think motorhome.
Yep.
Which is a type of RV, recreational vehicle, but not what we purchased. So when we talk about we bought an RV, we actually bought a travel trailer, which is a bumper pool.
Okay, when you buy an RV, that means you want to go mobile and travel. Why were you going to do that, and how were you going to run your business? Or was it going to fit in, or were you going to have to fit your business around that lifestyle, or what was coming first?
Happiness. So here's where we were. We were in business. We had all these mentors. We actually, when we sold the house, a few months later, we with some of our partners, we actually got an office space, and we did a brick and mortar office because we thought.
You signed a lease on an office space.
I signed a lease on an office space.
Wow, that sounds heavy. After you've shed your skin of possessions.
Well, now we're slimming down our personal life, right? But we weren't quite sure about the business yet. But we knew with the business we needed to, we figured the office was that next logical step, right?
Did you have employees?
We had a contractor that we brought on at the same time that we got the office space. We signed a 1-month contract with a 1-year contract, that paid all in full up front. And I was like, I immediately need help. We weren't ready to do the whole employee thing yet. I had been working with a few different contractors on and off, so I said, I have a 1-year contract. Do you want to help me with this contract? So she came on board. So that was our first actual, working with somebody that long term, not just one project, months.
Did your roles change, in the company after you guys both came on board and you were all in, but then, things ebb and flow and some clients come in and have different needs. Were your roles changing much?
I think our roles have changed consistently through the course of our company, depending on the type of clients, depending on the type of workload that's there, and just where we're currently at. Because,
I don't think our roles ever change. I think what we do within them does sometimes. But you and
responsibilities.
Our responsibilities change.
Okay.
But Elijah and I, when he was coming on board, we sat down and we had a long talk about what was he going to do in the company, what would I do in the company. Who had final say and stuff, whose priority was this, who handled the money, who did, and we divided that up, and those were our defined roles, and so those stayed the same, but I found that our strengths were pulled at different times that we needed them. So
you guys are married,
Yep.
So you went from like not seeing each other during normal office hours and only seeing each other evenings and weekends and all that to full on all the time work, dinner, weekends. Like how did you handle that transition?
Talk a lot.
We talk a lot.
We have to. You literally have to. I mean, they say the key to any relationship is communication. Right? If you want to have a good business relationship, you communicate, facts to clients, the details, all that kind of stuff. When you're in a small quarters, you have to communicate. Like, you can't walk into a room,
throw something and walk out.
Yeah, or a perfect example that I would use, and I think a lot of people can relate with, is you come home, you're frustrated, you open the door, and you just start barking, right? And you're not upset at them, it's a bad day. Well, it doesn't matter. They don't know what the pretense of all this is, so now you're yelling at them. They haven't done anything wrong. Like, I just made dinner for you, and now you're getting all
you're yelling at me.
And now the whole night's shot, right? And you're trying to, like, understand this confusion compared to walking in and saying, hey, I've had a horrible day. I'm just going to start venting because you're the only one here, and you get to listen to that, and I'm just going to start yelling. It's not at you. And it's a good way for the other person to be like, okay, I can sit here and actually listen to what you have instead of like trying to figure out how I'm going to respond and like, dispute what you're telling me, or whatever the case is.
Well, it's communication for sure, but also learning how to communicate to each other at different times. All right. When are you my business partner and when are you my husband?
Oh yeah.
That's a blurred line a lot. That's impressive if you're able to...
There are certain things that we made very clear that, when we're in business hours, it's business. Like, when I'm talking to you about things, this is business. This is not me nagging at you, Elijah. This is me. Like,
serving the
so
client.
It was kind of, reminding ourselves of that consistently, that we have to do that. There's been times where that doesn't happen. Like, I need my husband, and I get business partnered. Or
and then you've chosen to live in like a couple of 100 square foot RVs.
34 feet.
34 feet. So you drove out of Austin in April of 2017, pulling the RV. Describe that day, and what did the business look like? What tools did you have to adapt? Because you got to run your business from an RV that moves without Wi-Fi and without, there's inconsistencies along the way. What did you have to get ready within the company to do that?
Mobile Wi-Fi.
Mobile Wi-Fi. Hotspot on your cell phone?
Yeah, exactly. So we started off with hotspots on the phone, and then we moved into, when we bought our truck to pull the RV, we went ahead and made sure whatever we got had Wi-Fi installed into the truck as well, so we could also work from the road. Like, at no point in time can I like be dead in the water on the road, no connection, nothing's getting out. So, phone services through one company, and then the truck is, through OnStar, which I think they have something with AT&T.
AT&T.
All
So,
right.
It's basically like I got 2 different phone services at this point in time to make sure that I'm always connected. But that was number one. Like, I mean, software...
If we don't have internet, we're dead. It doesn't
just
matter.
Sending emails and just trying to scratch everything on paper is fine, but you still have to connect.
What other tools could you not live without while on the road other than Wi-Fi? Like Slack, or how do you communicate with your clients, or your CRM software? What are the nitty-gritty tools that you use that you couldn't live without?
We have HubSpot as our CRM. We did HubSpot Pro for that, so it manages our full process in terms of marketing and in terms of sales. And then on top of that, project management from Mavenlink has been like absolutely
Project
essential.
management from Mavenlink?
Mavenlink is the software.
Okay.
That plugs into everything. We use Zapier to connect all of the other different services we use together so that we have a streamlined, automated process. But Mavenlink for project management allows us to manage and speak to everybody digitally in one place. We can send approvals out to our clients, and then of course G Suite we use with Google and our Google Forms and all of that. But
where's your mailing address? Where's your home address?
My mom.
So at her mom's, and we have a company PO box here in Austin.
All right.
Yeah, driver's license kind of require you to have a real address.
Yeah.
But we do stay with my mom when we need. Hey, I want a nice long hot shower. I'm going to mom's. Bye.
Yeah. So when you're on the road, and it is at Entrepreneurs Roadshow on all of the social channels, you're working with clients out there on the road.
Mm-hmm.
You worked with a municipality here in Texas, correct? I mean, are you going out to build your company with businesses that are out there, or is it just kind of an offshoot as to what you find while you're on the road?
I'll let you answer. You look like you're more excited than I am.
Because this is the best part. It's that blog I wrote in January. It's the finding your happiness thing, right? We're in this office space. We're realizing, it probably wasn't the direction we should have gone. We got out of one space and we get into another space and we're still unhappy. So we did the search again for what was going to make us happy. And the RV in that decision was the byproduct of, what makes us happy, traveling, working with clients, giving back, like all of those things. The RV and traveling was the best case scenario that we could achieve with our budget and what we had. And so we created that. And what we did on the road with that was like, if we're going to transition our business and we're going to actually travel and we want to experience these things and actually have a life as an entrepreneur, what can we do on the road when we're there? Like, how can we help people? And at that time, we had been getting calls from all around Texas. We were getting all Central Texas, around Austin, a lot of surrounding areas, smaller cities. And it kept having us question why. Okay, it's great. I'm in Austin. Why am I getting calls from Taylor and Kyle? And because they're trying to figure it out too.
So what did you do for Taylor, Texas, and where is Taylor, Texas?
So Taylor is an hour outside of Austin.
On 79, past Hutto.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So if you, it's like...
What does a small Texas town
northeast,
need?
I guess?
Northeast.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go, northeast.
Yeah, northeast,
okay.
yeah.
What do they need?
Basically, they need to secure their future, not become a suburb of the rest of of Austin. That was the biggest concern, is basically them not having the resources needed to bring new attention in, to bring new businesses into their main streets, to bring, basically something that attracts people to visit the town and spend money while you're there.
Visit,
the town.
Not move to, but
not
visit.
Move to. Because moving is just, okay, so Austin's growing, and as it grows, some of these surrounding towns grow, but not in the same way that you would think. They're growing in population, but not necessarily in infrastructure and in terms of smaller businesses. They're becoming the cheaper option to live outside of the city, but everybody's working in Austin, and they buy in Austin, or they're buying online. And in the case of some of these small towns, and like Taylor's definitely ahead of a lot of the towns that we've traveled through, but they're kind of left behind by the digital age. Like, they understand that they need these certain things, but a lot of these business owners, they just don't know.
How in the world do you change the mentality of people to save a downtown?
That's
So
the fun part.
I was going to say, yeah. So basically, it comes down to education, right? But at the same time, it's not just educating. It's going to a town, finding a partner, because what we didn't want to do is we didn't want to go to a town and be like any other guy that goes and presents, or gal or group or couple or whatever, that goes and does a presentation of we're going to make everyone millions of dollars and do all this stuff, but then when we're gone, we're gone. That's it. I bought what you had and then you're gone, and what do I get now? Now I got to just email you and hope that you respond and I get what I deserve, right?
They leave you on your own to figure out whatever it is that they just instilled into your brain by yourself. So there's not a continual support system. There's not someone on board that can continue to encourage and show you after the fact.
All right.
So we wanted to make sure that when we went into a town, we partnered with a municipality. We partnered with somebody, a stakeholder in the city, a chamber of commerce, somebody who we could continue to support them, and then they can continue to support their community, right? Because we can't do all of that ourselves. We can, when you go to a town, especially just starting off, it's not like you're going to get every business owner in the entire region to show up at your event in some big 1,000-person arena. No, you're going to have your 20 or 30 people. But the beauty of that is that, those 20 or 30 people are going to then continue to talk to their fellow business owners and say, oh, you know what I learned this, and then that just continues to go. So basically it's education. It's there's a lot of things out there that you can do as a small business to grow and to gain exposure even in your small town. And specifically as a small town, if you all start working together, think about everyone starting to turn on their light in one area. That light's going to get brighter and brighter and brighter. So you might have a town next to you, and this guy over here knows that this town offers the services that he needs, or maybe the town offers it, but he doesn't know, and this place is further away. Google and search engines will actually direct you further away if they don't think that area is relevant to your search. So as a town,
if there's what you're looking for isn't relevant in the area.
As a town, if you're all working together to become a relevant source on Google Maps and Google Search, naturally the search engine algorithms are going to start pulling to you because we're all contributing content together about how great our town is, about how great our services are, about all these cool things you can do here, and the city's on board and all these businesses are doing this stuff. So why wouldn't I tell this guy to drive over here and go visit you when, compared to these guys that aren't doing anything?
So it's digitally putting yourself on the map.
How did your RV enable you to serve the city, gain their trust? You guys are outsiders coming from the big city of Austin. Did you guys roll in with your RV and set up shop and live there?
We do in some locations. In the case of Taylor,
on the square?
Yeah, on the square. They don't let you do that.
Step right up.
We actually thought about, hey, we could wrap it. We could do all that stuff. We thought about all of that.
Just keep on driving up and down Main Street all day.
Yeah, it's like, come see us right now. Consultations in my dining room.
That's
yeah, exactly. Well, so it really did come down to, contacting somebody initially, right? Again, a stakeholder, somebody who looked like they had influence, they had some type of support mechanism that was already supporting the small businesses in the community.
Isn't that the mayor?
Actually, you would. So, on a funny insight with this is that a lot of how cities rely on like their chambers of commerce and their visitor and convention centers and all that kind of stuff to work with small businesses and bringing them in. And sometimes these cities, they'll have like an eco development committee that tries to attract new businesses and all this kind of stuff, right? But there is a disconnect between the business owners in the city and City Hall, the mayor.
It's not the same. Typically, it's not a business owner that's also the mayor.
Yeah, exactly. It's not that. I mean, because, we've actually, and I won't name any cities or anything like that, but we've heard plenty of times about how, like, the actual city can't stand the Chamber of Commerce because the business owners complain to the chamber because they assume that's the chain of command because these guys know the city officials and the mayor. So the businesses complain to the Chamber of Commerce, and then the Chamber of Commerce complains to the city. But now the city hates the Chamber of Commerce because every time they have a dealing with them, they just complaining about the mistreatment against their business. I mean, it's terrible.
And we've been in some cities where, in the case of Taylor, everybody's working together because they understand the bigger goal, and their actual mission was to put Taylor on the map for 2017. And so we approached them, and actually another program with Google called Get Your Business Online, we actually hopped on board with that program. And it offers...
What's that do?
Actually, it's all gybo.com. It's Get Your Business Online, and it's the basic things of getting your business online on Google, how to find your business, how to set up your account, insights on your demographic and industry based off of Google's research and analytics. They talk about all kinds of stuff through there. And what we were able to do is teach those classes. Like, hey, this is how you get started with Google AdWords. This is how you get started with GYBO.
You're not doing it for these businesses. You're teaching them and enabling them to take it and run.
And if
that's the only way you can do it.
Yep. So we teach them first. It's all education. Like, hey, come to the event. So we hosted a Small Business Week series of events using Google Workshops and some of our own workshops that Serving Socials created, and we put together this whole series of events inside different business owners' businesses. Partnered with the chamber, blasted it out to everyone, and now you had this really, what we ended up having was 6 different events in intimate spaces, like packed out spaces. I'm talking one bed and breakfast. We were just trying to cram people in. Yeah. But it just shows you all of them were hungry to learn. They all are struggling with marketing. They're all struggling with how to put their brand out there. Like one of our business owners that we talked to, she's like, how do you get somebody to come off of I-35, 20 minutes down the I-35, 20 miles?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's
how do you
a real
do that
problem
when
and
you're
super difficult?
Yeah, you're your own business in a small town that it needs that insurgence of digital to understand it.
How were you paid?
So when somebody doesn't want to do it themselves, we do it for them.
Okay. So you went in and did this for free education, but they're like, man, this is above my head. I just want to run this restaurant here on the square. Would you guys do this for me?
Oh, yeah.
And that's where you come in.
And it starts off small, too. Some of them just want direction, and that's where our consultation comes in. Some of them just want landing pages. Some of them are like, okay, I realize I need a blog. I don't know how to get started. We set them up with a writer. So that's how, we started figuring out how do we continually make money when we're inside each city. But also there's other things that we were doing too when we were going in. Elijah would be taking photos. He'd be doing Google virtual tours for some of them. Like just really kind of putting each town as much as we can digitally on the map to help give them that boost.
What are you proudest of? Since you've jumped out onto the RV, what is your most proudest accomplishment so far?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
That is good.
I really love what we did in Taylor. I love what we're doing in Georgetown. I'm excited for what we're doing in Irving.
Irving, Texas, Dallas suburb. Not even a suburb, it's part of Dallas. What has been the most unexpected challenge that you guys didn't foresee when you jumped out on the road?
Juggling. All of the juggling.
Of all your clients and all the stuff?
Okay, so think about running a business is one juggle, right?
Sure.
Personal life, being husband and wife. I had my mom transition. I take care of family too. All of that. That's another juggle.
Our future goals.
Traveling all the time, every couple of weeks. Like imagine when you get ready for it. You said you were getting ready for a trip. There's a lot of preparation that goes into that. So juggle all of this all the time. Plus when clients need something, when somebody else needs something, and then there's just, can we spend some time together soon where I'm not doing business with you?
What are you focused on in the next 6 months, let's say? And is your model, like business, personal, is that model going to change in the next 6 months?
Going to get better.
What's up?
Okay. So serving social, no. I mean, the model will change in a way of the sense that we are streamlining our processes more. We're building this marketplace because we wanted to be able to make sure that once we leave a town, even if you don't have a chamber of commerce or somebody, there's something that you can go to and continue to get education and updates from us. On top of that, just more of a streamlined process of purchasing our services. But from there, I would say here in the next 6 months. I should say 6 to 9 months. We have the Entrepreneurs Roadshow, but we're actually now in talks with a film crew, and we're looking at some bigger of a production.
To film your story with your business, with the story of your clients? All rolled in together?
Yeah, so the concept as we were traveling, we were filming everything we were doing the entire time because we're like, this is our grand adventure. We want to capture this.
We were filming. It wasn't a third guy.
No.
We were filming.
It was iPhones. It was 3 different cameras. It was whatever we had electronic around us at the time, but we were capturing it. And as we were going to different places, they're all like, how can I get more of this? How can I see your journey? I want to know what RV life is like. And I was like, okay, well, we need to get this out online. And so we started creating all of that, and in the process everybody kept telling us y'all should really be a show. I would watch this. I want to see your journeys. How could they kept saying, how can I follow you? And I was like, we need to turn this into something more. And so we actually reached out to our friend pool and said, if we wanted to do this, how do we go about it? And so we met with a few television producers, and we've been in talks with a few people out of state, and they love our concept. They love the idea of being able to educate people more on, hey, get online, build a business in a different way, build your digital business.
This is a problem that every marketing company has, is trying to educate people, on marketing and just what it means in general,
So if we have a fun way to actually do it while having some fun along the way and helping people, that is the mission. That's the goal. Be happy and help people and give back.
All right. Follow Kristie and Elijah at servingsocial.com and on Twitter at servingsociallc. I'm getting this right. Facebook, Serving Social LLC.
Yep.
And on Instagram, serving_social, and on the Entrepreneurs Roadshow.
Yep.
All right. Kristie and Elijah, thank you for joining me today.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thank
having
you.
us.
Don't forget to hit up the rock stars at printdirtcheap.com and use promo code GoHuntLife for $10 off of your next print job. Hey, Life Hunters, thank you for listening to this episode of Go Hunt Life. If you like the show and would like to support it, go to iTunes and do this. Subscribe to the show, leave a rating, and review it. It helps. And thank you. If you or someone that you know has quit their normal life to follow their dreams, I would love an introduction and maybe interview them on the show. You can find me at GoHuntLife.com and also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest at Go Hunt Life. Until next time, stay weird, dare greatly, and ripcord out.